Hey, Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. Well, welcome to Wiccan Wednesday. As promised, we're going to talk about the mystical tarot and show you a little more tarot magic today, so hang with us. Now, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, I just got a new tarot deck. That's right. And here on our table is the new deck called the original Rider-Waite Tarot deck. Now, this is the traditional Rider-Waite deck, which Pamela Coleman Smith drew, but it's been recreated in the original color tones that the first decks came out in. This first deck was released, I believe, in 1909, and it looked more like this deck than the current decks, and I'll show you a comparison in just a little while. But I want to show you this because it's got a beautiful box, and it says the original Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And when you open it, inside you'll find a little, they give you a little chart of how to do a tarot layout, the Celtic cross. But we're not going to focus on doing readings today, but that's just a point of reference. But it's a very nice deck. I really recommend this. It comes with the book, The Key to the Tarot by Arthur Edward Waite, who designed the deck. And then it's got... let me pull the cards out here. Hold on just a second. I set the camera down. And so when you take the cards out, you'll see it has a card on top that says the original Rider-Waite deck. That's a card, and it's just kind of a cover for the deck. And on the back, you'll notice it's got the original backing. The original tarot cards had this kind of flower pattern backing, like lilies and roses. Today we see mostly a plaid kind of backing on the cards, but that was not the original. This was the original backing. So they recreated the original backs to the cards. Then it also has a little information card about Pamela Coleman Smith, the artist who did this deck. So we're going to just take a quick look at this. I'd probably do a whole video on just this deck, but we're going to focus on magic today. But the reason why I bought this deck was that, as I mentioned last week, in last week, Wiccan Wednesday, I said I was using my other Rider-Waite deck, which I use for readings, to do magic. And I wanted a separate deck that was just for meditation and magic, not for readings. I think it just separates the energies a little better. So I got this one. And the colors are a lot more muted in this deck. And I'll get my other deck in a minute and do some comparisons. But the golds are a lot more kind of an oranger gold. It's not as bright yellow. It's more of a deeper gold tone that you'll see. Here's the Magician card. And you'll notice that the lines, the original lining on the images was just a little thicker. It's a heavier, blacker line. In the years since the republishing, it's been lightened up somewhat. And the colors have changed. Now, it's not showing up very clearly here, but everything that is blue in the old deck has a slightly minty green color. So the original deck was not done in shades of blue and bright yellow. It was done in more of softer, warmer yellows and mint greens. And you can see that in the High Priestess card here. So pretty interesting stuff. All the card styles, I mean, the actual images are the same. The fonts are just a little different because it looks like they're more handwritten fonts on this than the later decks. But yeah, so this is my new deck, and I'm going to be using this for magical rituals, and we're going to talk about that. But I think you can see how the colors are different. Notice in the background of the lovers, it's more of a minty green sky than an actual bright blue sky. And again, you'll find that throughout the deck. All the colors are softer, muted, a little warmer. Really, really lovely. I'm really enjoying this deck. Now, one of the most dramatic shifts is in the Hermit card. You know, in the original Rider-Waite, the Hermit card is a lot more blue. This one is more like of a sepia tone and mint green, kind of a yellowish green. So it's very distinctly different. So anyways, we're gonna look at this today. In fact, I think I'll just show you for a comparison now. I'll get the other deck. So just for package comparisons, the Rider-Waite deck has a much more elaborate box. It's done in blue and gold. And this is what the standard, if you just say, I want a standard Rider-Waite deck, this is what the packaging looks like in that one. So by US Game Systems, or what's it called? US Game Systems Incorporated. So, but they're both by the same maker. This is just the newest release, okay? Okay, so just to give you a little comparison between the decks, the image on the left is the standard Rider-Waite, which you just buy today as the modern day printed version. This is the new special edition of the Rider-Waite. As you can see, the color differences on some of the cards are quite dramatic. And the fonts are just a little different. This looks like it was a mechanical font. This looks a little more hand printed. But as you can see in the Hermit card, it's very obvious the shading is different. This is more sepia toned. This is more blue. And this continues through, like, for example, this is, actually, let me get these out of order. This on the left is the standard Rider-Waite deck, and this is the original. Now you'll notice the yellows. I don't know if it shows up here. I don't have the best light, but this is in person is much oranger gold. That's a yellower color. This is more orangish gold. And I think on some of the cards, the what am I call it? The scale looks just slightly different. Like this scale looks like it's zoomed in further, whereas the Magician looks just a little smaller. And you'll notice that, again, the thick lines, the red here is brighter, and this one it's a darker red, and the lines are heavier. So there are definitely just some distinctions here. And you can see the reds are darker, the yellows are more gold, and it's just got a heavier, thicker feel to it. So, you know, depending on your preference, you may like one or the other. Now in the Fool's card, you can really kind of see this. Let me pull this back. We got glare. But notice how yellow this is, and this one's much oranger, golder, like an orangey gold. And the colors are much brighter here. They're much more muted in this one. See on the leggings and the feet? Bright yellow. This is more of an oranger, softer color. And the color of the rocks here is a lot brighter. Here it's darker. So there are definitely differences here, you see. And the same also with the High Priestess. Here's the standard High Priestess card, which many of you know. And then in the original, it's much more muted, much more minty green. Can you see the difference? The robe is much bluer here on the Priestess, and on here it's more of a mint green color. And so there are definitely differences here between the decks. And the fonts are just slightly different as well, as you can see. You see on this one, the S is actually cut off on the edge. And on that one, it's in and it's a period. So, you know, I would say if you're into tarot, I think it's worth it to buy the original Rider-Waite, just for historical purposes, to see how the tarot's changed. Now, people are saying, well, why did the tarot change, you know? Well, I think what happened is that when this deck was first printed, of course, we had different technology, and the inks and the processes for printing were different. And when when the US Game System acquired the rights to this tarot deck, they acquired it in 1967 or 68. It was during the height of the hippie era. And so I think that because of the printing technology at the time and the market, you know, the hippies were into bright colors, psychedelics, so they brightened up the deck. And I think that, you know, it was probably the right move for the time, but today people are a little more purist, at least a lot of people are. I want the original. So you can see there's definitely differences here. Anyways, this is just a little bit. I could go all day on this, but I just thought I'd give you some insight as to some of the differences. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to do a spell today that is using multiple tarot cards. Last week we used one card, and I'm going to show you this week how you can use multiple cards to do a tarot spell. So this is a spell that is, for example, if you're trying to get a new job, let's say you're struggling, you've been trying to get a new job, this is one little way you could perhaps go about working on that. This spell is called the Star of Power spell, and it uses 5 tarot cards. And now, this is not the only way you can use the cards. This is just one way, okay? But watch this. This will give you some understanding and inspiration, I think. So what you want to do is have one card that depicts your actual current situation. Now, if you're waiting on a job, you're unemployed, you're like the hangman. You're just kind of stuck. You can't make a lot of moves. So we want to put that at the top here. This is showing where we are as it exists. Now, what is it that we want? Well, we need some money. We need a breakthrough. We need a blessing. Well, one of the cards of powerful breakthrough and blessings is the Ace of Pentacles. So we want to put that here, slightly at an angle. We're going to create a star here. So the Ace of Pentacles represents our desire. We need a breakthrough. We need to get out of this hung position, this holding pattern. So we're calling on heaven to send us a miracle. And the Ace of Pentacles is like literally a boon from heaven. Then the next thing that we want is for this blessing to bring change, to bring movement in our lives. So we want the Wheel of Fortune. And this is great. Like, so for example, if you're trying to apply for jobs, you need the Wheel of Fortune to spin to get you into an interview, to get seen. So you then want to put the Wheel of Fortune down here. Okay, so you see how we have the cards going around, okay? Then you want to master the interview. So let's say you do this, the interview comes, you're actually getting some motion, some traction. You got to perform well. So you want to use the Magician card because this represents a master. You can control destiny and fate. You are in charge. So you want to rock the interview and be seen as proficient, mystical, magical, and powerful. So you might want to use the Magician card here. All right, so we'll put that down here. Then what is the goal? We want to get the interview, get the job, and move on to being a successful person and overcoming our challenge and our poverty. So today I'm going to use the King of Pentacles because that represents a man of wealth and power and influence. So we're moving out of our hang position into a position of influence and power. We're changing our world. And so we'll put that up here at this angle. Let me move my candle back. Okay, so as you can see, we now have a star system. We've got, as we are in our frozen position, what we're seeking, a blessing from the heavens and from the gods. We want to bring transition, a change of fortune. We want to succeed during that time of transition by mastering our skill and demonstrating it. And we want it to take us into a position of success where we have power and wealth and security. And so we have, in a sense here, now created a star of power. Now, as I told you last week, the tarot is a mystical element. I believe that each of the cards are infused with magical power. So what you want to do then is then to strengthen that is you want to add what I call a power source. And in this candle, we're going to use a green candle because that represents blessings, prosperity, fertility, success. Now, if you have another candle that represents that more for you, some people say, well, I like gold. You could use a gold candle or a green candle or any candle. And if you don't have any colors, just use a white candle. Okay. But we're going to use a green candle. And then what we want to do is we want to make a little chant. So we'll say, Tarot, Star of Power, work for me starting from this hour. Tarot, Star of Power, work for me starting from this hour. And then you want to just go to each card and visualize it and go into the card. Let it be an astral doorway. See the blessings coming. Feel energy shifting. See yourself becoming a master of your trade and see yourself succeeding. And go card to card for a little while, as long as you can maintain the focus and chant. Tarot, Star of Power, bring this change at this hour. Tarot, Magic, Star of Power, bring change at this hour. Tarot, Magic, Star of Power, bring change at this hour. And just sit with that. And you can do this spell every day. You can redo it, but let the candle burn for a little while. You don't leave it unattended. So if you sit and chant for like 5 or 10 minutes a day, burning your candle and focusing on this, you're sending energy and you're working with the mystic power of the tarot. And as I said, you can do this every day till your candle burns down or till a breakthrough comes. I would actually keep doing it until you're secure in your job because you want to make sure that, you truly become that King of Pentacles, that power person. So keep the spell going. Even if you get hired at a job, do it for a few weeks into the job, and that's going to give you an edge. And so, guys, you see, this is another way to use the mystical tarot. I hope you've learned something today, and I hope you'll explore this. And I hope you've enjoyed learning about my new tarot deck. This deck I'm actually solely reserving for magical rituals. Now, you don't have to do it that way. If you have one tarot deck and you like using it for readings as well as magic, that's fine. I just personally prefer it that way, and that's how I'm going to do it. Also, while I'm here, I want to remind you, if you enjoy learning about the tarot, you might want to take my special tarot class. You can sign up for that over at my website at PsychicBob.com. That link will be below. And when you scroll down, you'll see a big pictures of tarot cards. It'll say Psychic Bob's Tarot Class. Under that will be a PayPal button. The class is $31. It's going to be a 2-hour class on Sunday, October the 11th at 12 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. So I hope you'll come out and join our class. Go to my website, read about it, click on it, sign up. You can do your payment through PayPal. Once you do your payment and you enter your information through PayPal, that will be your registration. It will give me a notice and I will put you on the list. And then that Sunday, on Sunday, October 11th, about a half hour before the class, I will send out an email to everybody that's registered. You will get a link to Zoom. Now, don't worry if you don't know how to use Zoom. It's all automated. Just click on that link. It'll open you into the classroom automatically. And we're going to have a wonderful class. I'm going to teach you my techniques for reading the tarot. And also we're going to touch a little bit more on magic as well. So I hope that you will go and register. Class size is limited, so register early so you don't miss out, okay? It's going to be Sunday, October the 11th at 12 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. That's going to be 12 Eastern, 11 Central time, 10 a.m. Mountain time, 9 a.m. Pacific time. For those of you in Europe, it'll be 5 p.m. London time, 6 p.m. Paris time. So I hope you'll come and join our tarot class. Go register today at PsychicBob.com. Well, guys, thanks for being here. I love all of you. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got more coming. By the way, make sure to like this video, favorite it, share with your friends, hit subscribe, and be part of our channel. We would love for you to be here. We'll be back here tomorrow on Thursday for Vlog Thursday. Don't know where we're going yet, but just be here. We'll have an adventure. You guys are best. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Until then, may all of you always blessed be.